He just didn't charge him with obstruction.
Those are two very different things, Jesse, and he outlines legally why he could not, under the existing Justice Department guidelines, charge the president. He outlines a case for obstruction and then in plain text says it's up to the Congress to decide if this obstruction of justice, which, by the way, has been part of two articles of impeachment for Nixon and Clinton, obstruction of justice, if this rises to the level.
He actually said if Congress wants to do its own investigation, they are able to find
Congress
and
may
charge
apply
the president with
obstruction laws to the president's corrupt exercise. He says that very clearly.
But he doesn't say this was the product of, here you go, Congress, take it where I left it. He said if they want to do their own investigation, they can find it too.
That's not actually what he said. But he made very clear.
If you read it closely, that's what he said.
This highlighting here is pretty close reading. But he said very clearly, I am not saying the president did not commit obstruction of justice. He also does not say there's no collusion. He says there's no conspiracy or coordination that rose to the level of criminal standards. So he is not, and then he outlines very clearly multiple contacts between the Trump administration and Russians.
Yeah, but is that illegal?
My final point on that, to answer Dan's question, I think we should have higher standards for our president than whether things are illegal. I read this and thought it may not be illegal. I find it abhorrent. I find it unethical. I think it's nothing that any other Democratic or Republican
Should he have fewer rights than you? Should he have fewer rights than you?
I don't think that any other presidential campaign, Democratic or Republican, would ever engage in this kind of behavior. And I don't want my president
should he have less rights? I mean, he released that. I wouldn't have released it.
I'm just trying to be clear. The meeting with Russians is illegal now or is unethical?
Trying to accept help to influence an election.
Hillary did?
Hillary actually
did accept help.
Okay, let's go, Dana. Marie apparently is a collusion truther who's still hanging on to that.
I just think we need to read the actual report.
I only wish I had the confidence of Fox News' Jesse Waters to be so self-assured while being proven wrong on literally everything he says on national television. This is Fox News analyst Marie Harf pushing back against the seemingly endless barrage of misinformation by Jesse Waters. Waters erroneously claims that Special Counsel Robert Mueller gave Congress permission to do their own investigation about obstruction of justice, rather than handing the decision to act off of his investigation to Congress. And that's a lie that's been repeated ad nauseum by the right. Even Attorney General William Barr, when asked point blank if the special counsel indicated whether he wanted him to make the decision or if it should be left up to Congress, said Special Counsel Mueller did not indicate that his purpose was to leave the decision to Congress, which literally could not be further from the truth, because what the Mueller report actually said in plain English was the conclusion that Congress may apply the obstruction laws to the president's corrupt exercise of the powers of office accords with our constitutional system of checks and balances and the principle that no person is above the law. In other words, Mueller specifically, explicitly left the decision up to Congress. So for Bill Barr, who is supposed to be the highest law enforcement official in the land, all the way down, and I mean down, to Jesse Waters, to pretend that this isn't what Mueller wanted is like them telling you that right isn't right and left isn't left. By the way, this isn't a new concept, that a special counselor wasn't going to indict a sitting president. The DOJ has touted their own guidelines saying explicitly that a special counselor cannot indict a sitting president. So Mueller specifically granted Congress the ability to make that determination. Like Marie said, Nixon and Clinton were both investigated by a special or independent counselor, and the info in their reports was given to Congress, which made the determination to impeach. Of course, for the right to acknowledge that would blow a hole in their bad faith arguments. And that's not the only lie being perpetuated by the right. While they cry out no collusion like they're getting paid royalties on it, that's not what this report found. Mueller couldn't prove criminal conspiracy, but that doesn't mean there weren't instances of possible collusion. We know that two Trump campaign officials, Paul Manafort and Rick Gates, gave polling information to Russian consultant Konstantin Kilimnik, who is known to have ties with the Kremlin. That Papadopoulos attempted to arrange meetings between Trump and Putin. That Trump Jr., Kushner, and Manafort attended a Trump Tower meeting with a Russian lawyer who promised dirt on Hillary Clinton. And that one really small thing, you might have even missed it, where Trump asked Russia to hack Hillary Clinton's emails on national television, and then 5 hours later, Russia tried to do just that.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
And beyond that, Mueller's report says that the Trump campaign, quote, expected it would benefit from Russian meddling in the election. So just because Trump didn't call Putin and say, hey Vlad, let's win this thing, doesn't mean there weren't untoward actions on both sides in pursuit of a common goal. And with all that we know, all of the information that's come out over the last 2 years, for Republicans to still try and spin this as a win, when this probe resulted in 199 criminal counts, 37 people and entities charged, 7 guilty pleas, 5 prison sentences, with 448 pages detailing unethical behavior and demands to fire prosecutors, and nearly a dozen instances of obstruction of justice, if that's what the GOP considers a win, that says a lot about the state of that party.